So yeah, I watched Dare Me, which is totally outside my comfort zone because I think I saw like cheerleaders and like 15-year-olds and they're jumping around, and I thought this is clearly not aimed at me. It's very teenage. I actually think guys are supposed to be into this, but I did watch it, really just randomly came across it and started watching it, and boy, am I glad that I did.
You want to be careful with Beth.
I'm telling you, there's something off about her.
There's a price for everything. This is how you become strong.
What was it supposed to do?
You are royalty now. You're gods. Make them bow down.
In the end, I couldn't stop it.
You know, I loved it. I really liked the show. And I just think it's such a celebration of like women, the show is. I mean, in a very dark, odd, psychological thriller kind of way. And it shows so much of the female perspective in this. And, you know, it's based on a book that was written by Megan Abbott. This show really shows women expressing their truth and their anger and their feelings, and again in ways that are not normally portrayed. Like we're so classically in the romantic comedy being like sweet and cute and weak and sad and crying and all that sort of thing, but these girls are just taking the insults, taking the hits, falling down, and it's just like the guts of it all. And they were showing a lot of like, I wouldn't even call it anger, just like frustration and just like not liking people. In terms of the characters, I think it's so interesting because you have Addie, who's put up as this like strong figure from the beginning, but in reality I don't feel she ever takes control of her life in the way that she could. Beth, who I kind of really kind of grated on me a lot in the beginning, does end up being more clued in as to, and even though she doesn't necessarily get what she wants, she always stays true to like her strength and the truth of how she sees things. Like she doesn't sort of meander a lot as a person. She's just really clued into like what she considers worthwhile, you know. And obviously like Coach French, who's like the third main character, just, you know, she just is that character. Like she is actually a coach, like almost a god even, in the way that she conducts herself and the way she leads those girls, and she will do whatever it takes. And she was so driven that you do kind of feel almost embarrassed, because you rarely see women who are so unashamedly like this, especially in the media. Don't really see female leader types in this, you know, operating in this sort of way normally. In this show, it's like the men seem to be the weaker ones and the women just seem to be like kicking ass throughout. Like that's such a tired phrase, but they just seem to be so like full on, so like rich and strong as characters that, you know, the men are just sort of at the side and you don't care as much. The principal's quite funny as a guy, I think, and he does sort of provide that bit of balance and relief. But yeah, there's so many women characters in this that you're just kind of transfixed by them and the way that they power through the world. I like that this show touches on ideas of about ambition and hard work, which you don't normally see women encouraged to really sort of care about their work or their interests or the sports that they're into. It's such a show that really explores competitiveness and how to use that and to push yourself, and that it does take work. And this whole show made me want to like start a gym subscription, join a cheerleading squad, join some kind of sport, like sign me back up to something where I have to be in a squad and a team and hopefully find like a coach. Even though, yeah, legit, this is not unlikely to happen, especially as I'm eating like a bag of chips right now, but it is really like quite an inspiring show in a way, or encouraging show, and just reminding you that, you know, ambition's not a dirty word. Addie did get kind of weird in some of her decisions, and I think that's where it does fall down a little bit. She sort of stopped being as capable as I feel that she is. It does peter out a little bit. It loses a bit of steam towards sort of episode 8 or 9, but you know, for me it was like a solid quality show throughout, and the way it presented itself throughout I thought was really worthwhile. So in terms of rating, I would say, I almost want to say 4 out of 5, maybe like 3.8 out of 5, because it was pretty strong, even though it started to lose its way a little bit at the end. It had these 3 really great characters, so I really enjoyed watching this show just because it was kind of like, you know, it's almost got this like Spice Girls on doing dark things feel to it, which was really just like, so it was quite like fun like to watch, like you're kind of drawn to it, but there is a grayness to it. There is a sort of blue-grey, depressy darkness to it that can mean that towards the end you're a little bit like, maybe they could have made this 8 episodes instead of 10. But I do think I'll be checking out season 2, and overall I just thought it packed a punch. So yeah, I'm sort of in the 3.8 to 4 out of 5 range, and I do think it's worth checking out and talking about with other people because it really throws some interesting ideas out there, and celebrates a lot of things, or even explores things about female personality and ability that isn't really explored a lot of times.
So yes, and I will be checking out season 2. Definitely worth a good watch, Demi.
Some fancy new coach thinks she can come and run my squad.